Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. And this is your Young and the Restless recap for September 21st. And today it looks like Deacon have some rich details on Diane Jenkins. Nate begins his mole work at Chancellor-Winters, and Phyllis just can't help herself by poking the bear with Diane. So before we unpack all of this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all updates, and please don't forget to like and share. So it looks like in Los Angeles, Deacon is surprised when Nikki was the one that opened the door. Now, Nikki admits that she messaged Deacon anonymously since she wasn't sure he'd even meet her otherwise. Now, Deacon acts like he's happy to see Nikki after all this time and insists, "You look good, girl." Now, Nikki won't be interested in any of his flattery and kind of chew Deacon out for helping Diane fake her death. Now, Deacon eventually realized this meeting is about seeking revenge on Diane. And if he cooperates, Nikki won't retaliate against him. Unfortunately, at the moment, Deacon won't feel like he has much to offer, though he does admit that he saw Diane a couple of times when she was living her new life as Taylor Jensen. Now, the only thing he said that stood out was Diane was seemingly had a lot of money in the pocket. I guess maybe she has the money Sheila promised him on the Bold and the Beautiful, since she's always buzzing around in a Bentley. Now, Nikki realizes that that don't line up with Diane's story about living this whole modest life on teeny commissions as a real estate broker. Now, Deacon does admit that he assumed Diane was dating a rich guy since there was always some man in the back seat, but Diane shut down any questions that he had at the time. Now, Nikki considers the possibility that Diane was seeing some wealthy man or fell into some money either legally or illegally. Now, although Nikki wants more information, she's ready to throw Deacon out when he can't offer her any additional information. Something actually prompts Deacon to come to his mind, though he claimed that he'll have to show it to Nikki at the restaurant he works, and we didn't see it either. Now, when Nikki refused to be lured to Deacon's place of employment, he urged her to come and see what he has, and she can, after that, forget that he exists. Now, after Nikki offered Talia some updates later, Talia think it might be worth meeting Deacon one more time in case he really does have something useful. Now we're back in Genoa City, and Diane, why I don't understand, decides to approach Victor and try to play nice. And I'm like, Victor is not going to really want to talk to you, Diane. I don't even understand the conversation. Now, while she's trying to play nice, somebody else that Diane don't want to see shows up, and that's none other than Phyllis Summers. She appears. Now, fake Phyllis point out that Victor sees through Diane just like she does and wish her the best of luck. Now, once fake Phyllis leaves with the takeout, Diane seems to be uneasy about Nikki's trip to LA. Even though, she's trying to play it cool and insist that she's no threat to Victor's family. Now, Victor hints about repercussions anyway, typical Victor. So Diane gets upset and refuses to let anyone tear her down and all of the work that she's accomplished here in Genoa City. And then once again, at Jabot, fake Phyllis run into Diane and push her buttons until Diane lashes out. And Diane warns that if Phyllis keep pushing her, she'll regret it. Phyllis act like, see, there it is, the real Diane. The Diane that she knows and she hates is finally coming out. And as far as Phyllis is concerned, this will be the beginning of the end for her rival. And that's what they pick, poke until they can't take it anymore and then say, oh yeah, gotcha. Really, Phyllis, and I do agree with Diane on some levels that both her and Victor has a checkered past. So for them to be throwing stones in glass houses is kind of hypocritical to me. pointing fingers at somebody else when 3 fingers are already pointing back at you. So now we're over at Chancellor Park. Now Victoria is meeting with Nate and insists that she's interested in buying up as many Chancellor-Winters shares as possible to help her obtain majority stake in the company. That being said, Victoria assumes that Jill and Lily were savvy enough to make sure that the family retained the bulk of the stock. That leaves Victoria with concerns about not being able to have the level of involvement as she wants. Now, Nate counters back by saying that he'll assure her that he's willing to sell her his shares. And once she combines those with what she purchased on the stock exchange, she'll be the majority stakeholder. Now, this is a huge risk on Nate's part, but he's willing to take it if he gets what he wants in return. Now, Victoria will make sure Nate can smooth things over at Chancellor-Winters and have the same level of access until the transition happens. So here we come with him being a mole. Now, after Victoria confirms Nate can take over the company once it's under the Newman umbrella, this is when we see them shake hands on the deal. So speaking of Chancellor-Winters, Lily emailed Devon and Billy the numbers in hopes of making the IPO decision unanimously. Now, Devon remains reluctant to give up so much control and make such a major move, just right after they merged the company. Now, this is when we see Lily trying her best to really convince them and buy into this whole thing. My thing is with Devon, he should have never even merged companies with Chancellor-Winters, especially because he wants so much control and he wants so much autonomy. And in this case, he don't even want to answer to the people that he's with. Imagine trying to answer to shareholders, which was one of his main talking points when he had the conversation with Billy and Lily. And Lily is looking at him like, why are you so stubborn? But obviously, with them looking at the numbers, it looked like it was a good deal, but I know Devon is still hesitant. Like I said, he should have just said no in the beginning. So while they having this conversation, Nate arrives. Now, he put on his fakeness and decide to give this whole speech about how he was wrong and how Devon was right. Now, he claims that he's been doing some so-called reflecting and now understands that he needs to pay his dues as well as respect the hierarchy. Now, Nate also knows that he regrets putting in the resignation in anger and is now asking for a second chance. Devon is kind of skeptical, though, as he should be, of this sudden change in his cousin. But Nate puts on all the finesse and assures Devon that, you know what, you're the boss. Now, Nate wants to be met halfway, though, and make sure that his ideas are listened to, but he acts like he gets that Devon is in charge. Now, Devon warns, this back and forth has to stop, but he will be willing to give Nate another try. And of course, Lily is clearly thrilled to have Nate back on the team, but what they're actually getting is a mole. So now we're back over at Chancellor Park, and Victoria having this whole clash with fake Phyllis about Nikki's trip, because pretty much as usual, Phyllis lies to her face. Victoria knows. She don't think it's a good idea, and then she heads back to the office. Now, back at the office at Newman, Victoria is kind of tiptoeing about, especially about what she has in the works, and she's not ready to reveal it to her father, Victor, yet. Once Victoria expresses her fears over, Nikki and Deacon meeting in LA, Victor offers some reassurance since, I sent my security team. She's good. Now, according to what the spoilers are saying, Nikki could actually score some explosive things thanks to the visit of Deacon. So we got to stay tuned. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. Stay tuned for the Bold and the Beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.